Oh, it looks like Ray's a lot taller than I am, but it's not. Actually, it is the case. You are 6'2".
Want to switch?
No, it's fine.
We can switch. That way we're like...
So, I'm here with Ray at the start of stage 3, Tour Down Under,
yeah.
2018. Today's predicted to be a 42, 43 degree day.
Hot as balls. For Americans, that's 41 is 106, so we're talking 107, 108 degrees Fahrenheit.
We're feeling it already. It's only 11:15 in the morning. In the sun, it is absolutely frying. In the shade, it is beautiful. We have about 15 minutes of shade right here, so I thought we'd have a chat about the tech we've seen, what Ray's up to, what I'm up to, and what's coming up in the next few days here.
Yeah.
So Ray, you're over in Australia?
I am, so I'm down here for a long time, 2.5 months, so just got in on this past week just before the tour started, and here throughout the tour in Adelaide, and off to Perth for the remainder of the time.
Perth. So you're going from hot weather to even hotter weather. Perth is brilliant this time of year, early in the morning and even the evenings, but you're going to get days like this.
My wife said she wanted hot. That was the reason why Melbourne got cut, is that she was like, it could be not so hot. Check, we found hot.
Absolutely, that's great. So about the technology you've seen the post about all the men's tech.
Yep.
We've seen you today running through the start line here, getting even a close-up, so deep diving into the overview that you had.
Yep.
What have you found this morning?
This morning, so I think the most interesting piece of tech probably was the hydration vest. They're actually a cooling hydration vest, and BMC is using them. And so yesterday I saw them at the start and kind of tweeted out a pic, and then the guy, the team director, actually responded back to me and said, hey, come take a closer look, which is kind of cool. And so we chatted this morning, and they're actually not using them during the stage here. So instead they're using them purely to cool the guys from 25 minutes before the start of the stage until 0 minutes, and they take them off and go. And so they chill them in theory in ice, but their hotel isn't making enough ice for them, and so they have to basically just put them in like cold water, and then they're putting them on 25 minutes, and it cools their body and also provides liquid as well for them. And then going forward, they're hoping into future tours later this year, the riders will actually wear them during the race itself.
Well, it kind of makes sense because we see athletes, a lot of track riders as well, will use ice vests on a super hot day and then take them off because of weight penalties obviously there. You can't use them during the race. But if you're drinking the water out of it, it's kind of genius because you get the benefit of it, you get the hydration from it, and there's no real weight penalty, plus the cooling effect. If they're designed really well. Yeah,
it's in the 300 grams for the vest itself, and then it stores up to 2 liters of water. Once it obviously goes from a frozen state to a liquid state, then it's drinkable and everything else. And they were kind of looking at, once they get into being on the road usage, about 45 minutes or so of time for the vest in most weather conditions before it's empty, and they'll just go back to the support car, drop it off, and keep on going.
If they're designed well, you could probably unclip it or take it off, pull it out, throw it into the team car, and away you go.
Yeah, so it was interesting. I thought they would go underneath the jersey as well.
Yeah.
They go on top, and the reason is because with the ice, they would have ice burns on their skin.
It's too cold.
Yeah, too cold.
Too efficient.
Yep, so they put them on the outside, and they said it was about an 8 to 15% improvement in performance on a hot day.
Yeah.
So that's a lot, especially on a TT type stage.
Brilliant. Now we saw each other walk past, we did a flyby as we were going one end to the other today because I had the camera out as well. One thing I noticed yesterday in the sprint with Caleb Ewan winning that in Stirling, no head unit on the bike.
That's crazy.
I thought it might have fallen off. So I found Caleb this morning, I found his bike, still no head unit. I expected an SRM, they run SRM power meters, but Team Mitchelton Scott are Garmin head units. Yep. He said, I usually run a Garmin, it's in my back pocket. Now I'm not sure whether it was in his back pocket or that's a commercial arrangement he has to say, but he has no head unit on his bike.
Yeah, we've seen, Team FDG did the same thing, or FDG, and I'm used to saying it in French. So did the same thing last year for some of the riders here as well. They actually took the head units off. This was more of a team-wide initiative, forcing the riders to basically ride without head units for feel, which is interesting.
It's interesting, if we go out for a ride ourselves, we need to know how far to go, what time it is, what time we have to get back for lunch. These guys, I guess, have so much communication in race, the side of the road, they know the course. Probably not really that important. And even the race numbers themselves, during the race itself, it doesn't really matter what you're doing, unless you're in a break or pushing the front. It's just good post-race analysis. So.
Well, you see on a lot of the handlebars on the stems there, they've got the 5 to 8 key markers of the race itself. So they've had feed zones, sprints and stuff like that on most of those riders. That's, for a lot of these guys, all they really care about. Like, those are the key things that, we're not talking a time trial, which time trial is when you really need to be pacing, and that's where, time trials are really focused. Yeah. But for this stuff here, especially for today, they're just hoping to get the finish line.
Such a relaxed feel here too. It's the kickoff to the World Tour season. I've been calling it Team Sky B grade, which is the lower grade. They sort of blood a lot of the young guys here. Everyone's just chilled and cool. So yeah, the seriousness of this, it's interesting to see which tech is used and which they're leaving behind, and what is being trialed as well, like those ice vests.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think you just see that, like you said, it's so much more relaxed than it is the Giro, and then the next step up into the Tour de France, and that's just
madness.
Everything, you know, even just like security badges, right? Like the fact that this isn't RFID enabled or anything. It's just simply tap on, and you've got, yeah, a simple one as well. And it just, whereas you got the tour, it's RFID, you check in, you check out. I mean, all that stuff is super hyper aware. Here it's just more relaxed.
Yeah, it's a great week. If you notice, all of Australia comes here. Anybody in Australia on two wheels is here for the week and just relax. But what I've seen as well, use of technology. We used to be able to get to the start line and just enjoy ourselves. Today I had the camera up grabbing the start, and all I had was somebody's screen in front of it, another screen there. It's good to see, but man, the use of tech by everybody. And then when I went to email you to catch up for this meeting here, the 4G was really, really slow. Everyone is using tech. Yeah,
it's all over the place. And the teams are as well. I mean, the teams, I think, 7 of the teams have iPads inside running the Velo app that it's custom designed for their teams, and they're seeing that as a race advantage. So, you know, you've made the familiar Velo Viewer as an app for like Strava and all sorts of stats and stuff like that. And the teams are now running a custom version of it that they're using on the race itself with all the data for that stage. And they see that as a huge advantage for them to know what's coming up in real time and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty cool. And then Velon as well is out there with their tracking on the back of the bikes to track everything. That's all dependent on cellular networks. So that's kind of like the DIY solution compared to what we see with Dimension data in the Tour de France, where it's, you know, bouncing off of motos up to planes and helicopters, and this is a little more low-key.
And the crowds here as well. Speaking of technology and crowds, the number of people, how have you found the crowds at the starts and the finishes?
It's really impressive, yeah. I mean, I would say, in many ways, the crowds that start here are better than most stages of the Tour de France. And to be fair, it's not really an even comparison, right? In the Tour de France, you've got 21 stages. Here you've got 6. You know, there you're in tiny little towns in the middle of nowhere in a lot of cases. And so it's basically just people that are super dedicated or in that town. Whereas here, as you said, people are coming from all over Australia. Plus it's in a major city. But yeah, it's really impressive. People are really into it, and it's just cool to see cycling and folks, you know, engage with it.
Is this unique to a race you've been to before? Because you were saying in town the other day that it's all centered around Adelaide City.
Totally, yeah.
So all the teams can be in one spot. All the accommodation is in one spot. They go out, they come back. Yeah, there is some point-to-point racing, but...
Yeah, I didn't realize that until a year ago when I first came here. I thought it was, you know, like I assumed when I was going to the Tour Down Under, you know, I started like vaguely doing my research. I'm like, okay, so it's going to start like in Adelaide, then it'll go to eventually like Melbourne or Sydney or somewhere else. And then I find out, I'm like, wait a second, it's all in Adelaide. And so people that don't understand this, like me a year ago when I first came here, is that basically everything occurs downtown Adelaide. So the Hilton in Adelaide is the race hotel, the riders all stay there, the teams all stay there, everything's there, the media center. Across the streets, the village, and then within the village is like the mechanics work area, and then the tour provides the teams 2 vehicles, a like shuttle van and then a race in-race car support vehicle. And then every day the stages leave from vaguely Adelaide area. So within like 20K or so of Adelaide, they start and then they finish usually a little bit further out in some cases, and that's it. And so every night the riders sleep in one place, and it greatly reduces the cost.
Now I've been looking, I look at indoor trainers quite a lot, as you know. I've been looking and looking for, there's none around. You spotted a Wahoo kicker?
Single kicker with Team Sky.
That's all we've seen?
Yeah, and I mean, it makes sense, right? There's no time trial stages here. There's nothing to like warm up for, especially not like this. It's really just...
Everyone's cooked today at the start.
It's purely cool down. So it's purely if team dies in a sprint at the finish, that their guy, whoever's there, can jump on that trainer and just do a bit of a cool down afterwards. Yeah, it's stashed away in the back there, just one loading kicker.
Interesting to see. Yeah, very, very unique, especially this time of year for the Northern Hemisphere who are frozen in and would definitely need a warm up before a race. This is just so relaxed. So it's been a great week. And coming up, we've got stage 4, 5, and 6 coming up. Have you seen the Wollonga stage yet? The Saturday Queen Mountain stage?
No, I haven't looked at too much yet. I'm like on I'm a very last minute person. So I got to today. I haven't even figured out where the finish is yet today. That's like 3 hours from now. So.
Victor Harbour, yeah, that's actually quite far away.
Far, yeah,
so not a lot of people will be there at the finish, but it's on television. So when it's 43 degrees here, we can sit back with the air conditioner on.
I think that's the way to go. There are iced coffees and call it done.
Absolutely it is. And I think we'll leave it there because the sun is encroaching on us. Our coffee is getting a little warm. And yeah, we look forward to see the videos coming up, Ray, and all the posts.
Awesome, I appreciate it, and you as well. It's really cool to see down here and see all the cool stuff that you're putting together, and just neat to be down here.
Awesome, thanks for the chat, mate.
Yep, have a good one. And yeah, again,